I read a post yesterday that healed something inside my neurodivergent brain, and you need to save this if you've been struggling with your neurodivergence in your business or in your life. So hopefully it heals something inside you. My name is Trish Lau. I'm a trauma-informed life coach, and I've had the most successful 2 years of my life, not in spite of my neurodivergent brain, but honestly because of it. And I just want to share a few things with you that are going to give you permission in a way that maybe you didn't know you needed. Because what I've realized about neurodivergence, no matter what it is, neurodivergence was never the problem. It's the ableism. It's the blueprint that society says is the right way to do things, which for people like us puts life on hard mode unnecessarily. And I just want to unburden some of that for you, okay? I want you to sit your little neurodivergent bum down in front of me. I want you to grab a little sip of your tea or your water, and I'm just gonna unburden you, okay? This is probably gonna resonate with you, but for my entire life, I have been policed and managed and corrected and redirected and sort of curated into something that appears to be acceptable. I have been experiencing this as long as I can remember. The way I operate must stick out like a sore thumb, and it definitely activates people and triggers people. And I look like I'm a project to people. I cannot tell you how many times that whether it is overtly said to me or whether it's something I heard through the grapevine, that people have wanted to police and manage me. They're like, oh, she's so talented. We just have to clean this, and this up. So much potential she has, that one. If she'd only just apply herself. So much energy, so much wisdom, so disorganized. There was always something that appeared like it needed to be fixed. And when that's your experience, that becomes an entire structure of your belief system, whether it's conscious or not. And what happens in circumstances like that, where constantly you're being corrected and constantly being told you're too much, or constantly being explained to people that you need to be managed and curated and sort of corrected, it's not benign. What happens in those cases is it internalizes as shame, and it destroys your sense of self. I've said before, and I'll say it a million times, neurodivergents are not dealing with neurodivergence as their main problem. It's the internalized shame and faulty belief systems because of all the ableism that's really the problem. And over the past 2 years, I've had 2 of the most successful years of my life, not because I became all of a sudden organized, or not because all of a sudden I became, sort of my brain started to work in a more socially acceptable way. It's because I stopped beating myself up for being who I was. I had the most successful 2 years in business of my life. And newsflash, it's not because I became more organized. I had the most successful 2 years of my life because I stepped into being more fully myself. Sometimes when I have a talk to give or a presentation to give, I'll create it the day before, or maybe even the morning of. I was reading a post of a woman that did the same thing yesterday, and it healed something in me. She finally admitted something I'd been ashamed of. And what she said in her post, she's like, I just am really sharp when that timeline is tight. It's not sloppy, it's not disorganized, it's potent. I don't chip away at projects over long periods of time. That's just not how I'm built. Same way I'm not built to run marathons. That's not my physiology. I'm built for power. And so if I'm a power lifter, I'm gonna have to be explosive in my movements, and then I'm gonna need a fair amount of rest and just staring at the wall. I'm designed exactly the same way neurobiologically. I'm not an endurance neurobiological athlete. I'm a power lifter. I don't curate my content. I don't create a plan for it at all. I don't have somebody editing it or managing it. I post when I feel like it and when something is inspiring to me. According to society and the way that things work, in order to be successful in social media, that's not the way you're supposed to do it. But I stopped doing things the way I was supposed to do it, and I started doing things the way that felt like me. There are lots of people that can invest in things they don't like doing for long periods of time, and that's fine. I'm not built that way. If I don't like doing something, it's not gonna get done. So what I've realized about my work is if it isn't fun, I can't do it. I've been told by people that I need to take my work more seriously. Like, for example, since I'm a trauma-informed life coach, they would imagine that because trauma is typically associated with density and heaviness, that I'm not handling it responsibly. I think trauma is fucking fascinating. I think it's also kind of hilarious. And when I stopped playing a part that society said I should play when it comes to being a trauma-informed coach, I resonated with more people, made it more approachable. People said I needed to have ClickFunnels and SEOs to be successful. I don't know what the fucking SEOs are. And the only fucking funnels I've ever invested in were the beer funnels that were right next to the keg stand. I don't think about what the algorithm dictates, what's trending. I check in with myself to see what's trending inside of me or with my clients. I started to realize how much energy I could waste on trying to convince somebody that the way they're thinking about something could be different. And I started to redirect that energy to people that seemed like it resonated with them. You know, society puts a lot of red tape, which is really kind of invisible laser beams around what's the right way to do things and what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do. I've tested a lot of them. Most of them are complete bullshit. But if you know who you are and you know what you like, you know how you like to move, and you know the kind of people that you like to hang out with, you're already 25 steps ahead of anybody who doesn't know those things and is following a blueprint somebody else handed to them. I have never once in my practice, not one time as a full-time, decade-long life coach, ever handed one of my clients the same blueprint. Never one time. I think that's incredibly unethical, and it takes the heart and the soul out of anything that they would create anyway. I just don't see a point to that. You don't have to get up at 4 a.m. to be successful. You don't have to have a stellar morning routine. You don't have to have 7,000 followers. You don't need a fancy guru or a social media manager. You just need to know a few things. You need to know who you are. You need to know what you like. You need to know how you like to do those things on your own terms. I've applied that principle to the last 2 years of my life, and I've had the most successful 2 years in my business of the 22 years I've been in business to start with. Being yourself converts. Trying to be somebody else, follow somebody else's blueprint, especially if you've got a neurospicy brain. I don't know about you, but nothing has made me feel more lonely, more sad, and more lost. So I stopped fucking doing it. And I have to tell you, it's been pretty nice. The only right way to do this is your way, babe. And if you're doing it your way, you can't really fuck it up. Make sense? All right. I see you. I love you. I hope this helps. I'll see you tomorrow.